Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics. One of the things quilters love are pre-cuts, pre-cut fabric. It just gets us into action faster, and that's what we want to do. We want to turn on our sewing machine and sew. But many times when we have yardage, we have to get out our rotary cutter and our iron, and we have to do the cutting. And those are nice projects too, but if you have a pattern that calls for a pre-cut and you have one you love, it's awesome. It's a good day of sewing because you can just jump into it faster. You may be new to quilting and maybe pre-cuts are something new. Sometimes I just assume everybody knows what's a fat eighth bundle, what's a charm pack. So I'm just going to touch on that briefly. This is Moda's newest release. We chose 6 collections. We can't wait to show you what's here. I'm excited as a designer to come up with some of my own creations with this and see what others do with these amazing fabrics. So I'm just going to touch on what's a fat quarter. A fat quarter, a normal fat quarter, right, is a 1/4 yard of fabric, 9 inches by a width of fabric. That's around 44 inches in width. But with a fat quarter, you have twice the length and half the width. It's about 18 inches by 22. Great for applique. That's what a fat quarter is, again, about 18 by 22. Well, people thought, well, maybe I don't need something as big as a fat quarter. What about a fat eighth? Normally, an eighth of a yard is 4.5 inches by width of fabric, but a fat eighth, which is this here, is 9 inches in length by 21. It's also a nice cut of fabric because sometimes just 4.5 inches by 44 is very narrow and very long, can be kind of challenging to use. So a fat eighth again is 9 by about 22 inches. The other pre-cut people have come to love is called a jelly roll. These are 2.5 inch wide strips that are by the width of the fabric. These are great for making the jelly roll rugs. They're great for making tote bags and anything where there's a lot of different strip piecing. So that's our jelly roll. The other fabrics here on the table are the layer cake. These are the 10-inch squares and you get 42 of them. So, and they have a slight little pinked edge sometimes. Some manufacturers don't always cut the pinked edge. Doesn't matter. The layer cake is traditionally 10 inches by 10 inches, and there's 42 and it's in a kind of a stack there. Not all pre-cut manufacturers call their pre-cuts layer cakes. That's really a Moda term. I've heard other people call them gems and stackers and other terms, but they're all talking about the same cut of fabric. The charm pack is a customer favorite. Kind of like the layer cake where there's 42 of these measure 5 by 5. So this is a great pre-cut, quick to put together maybe as a table runner, baby quilts, a great one for that. And even smaller, the cutest of all, is this is called a mini charm. This is 2.5 by 2.5, again, 42 pieces. So I want to just cover that if, again, you are new to quilting and you're not sure of what that phraseology is. So let's just talk about the 6 collections we chose, and the reason we're showing this to you is you have a chance to reserve these very coveted, only produced one-time pre-cuts. Moda does not remake their pre-cuts. That is extremely rare. I've only heard about it on a few occasions they've done that. That's what makes these very special. And everything that I'm seeing here, I believe, is screen printed cotton, which I know is really coveted, very much appreciated, right? In a world where we're seeing a lot of digital fabrics, people love that traditional screen printed cotton, and I believe these are all that. So let's start off here with the collection on my left, your right. And this collection is by Heather Briggs called Pastel Prairie, and it is just that. Just the softest, prettiest colors. You can see there's just a full rainbow of lovely pastel colors. So if you like that softer spring palette, that kind of more shabby chic with florals and ginghams and ditzy prints, this is the collection for you. And Heather Briggs is a great pattern designer too. She's not only an amazing person, fabric designer, but I love her patterns. So be sure to check out Pastel Prairie by Heather Briggs. Again, kind of more very feminine, kind of shabby chic. My friend Brenda Riddle designed a collection called Abide. I just see a baby quilt out of this, something so soft, so pretty with the softer palette. And we have the full complement of precuts from the fat quarters to the jelly roll, layer cakes, charms, and mini charms. So if you're looking for something just really sweet to sew up, Abides is definitely the collection for you. We all know that next year, 2026, is our 250th birthday as the United States of America. We are a young but mighty country. We haven't been around that long, but when I think about what this nation has created, from flight to the internet and electricity and so much more, I am proud to celebrate our heritage as Americans. You're going to see a lot of projects coming out of Shabby Fabrics and a lot of fabrics coming out of our manufacturers, including Independence Day. This is by Sweetwater. I love these prints. It's not only red, white, and blue, but she also has kind of a lighter blue in there just to add some interest. I love the expressions on the fabric. There's a lot of things you can read here. God bless America. I pledge allegiance to the flag. We all said that, right, when we were in grade school. And we still say that now, even with some of our public gatherings. So this is a really great collection. Be sure to pick up Independence Day. Next year is going to be a year like none other for our nation. Again, continuing with the celebration of our heritage, Deb Strain designed a collection called 250 Years. She picked the perfect name. And as you can see, this has almost more of a vintage coloring, which I love that. It's more of a connection to 250 years ago when colors weren't so vibrant. They were more vintage looking. They didn't have the same dyes that we have today. So this is a more, again, retro look, kind of that burnt, almost a rusty color, creams. She's got that dark navy, but she also has that kind of that almost wedgewood blue. She also has an interesting panel inside the fat quarter bundle. And of course, we have the jelly roll, layer cake, charm, and mini charm as well, depending on the projects you're doing. And you can be sure I will be designing with all of these collections, especially the patriotic ones. We all can recognize from a glance, we know exactly who this is. Kansas Troubles is back with Quail Run in some of their classic colors that I personally can't get enough of. I just love how Kansas Troubles connects us to our past, where quilting colors kind of started. And I love that she kind of keeps going. We've been seeing some really unique things in the past. We saw a Christmas collection, we saw a blue collection, and now for Quill Run, we're kind of back to those classics that we love to see from Kansas Troubles. So if this is your palette, be sure to pick up Quill Run. And I'm really excited to talk about this last collection by Deb Strain called Family Tree. And we're going to see a very unique palette, but what was the most exciting part about this collection is actually the panel. It comes in two colors, and I love that there's the tree and the branches, and the little birds that are part of the panel are your family. As you get to grow your family, you know who your family is now, so you'll applicate a bird on the tree. But as you're blessed with little babies coming along, you get to add the birds along the way and grow your family tree. I see this an essential part of your home. Maybe this is something wonderful to give to a new couple that's expecting, right? It's there on the tree, but then when that baby comes, you get to add to the tree. So I just thought that Family Tree by Deb Strain was especially sweet, again, focusing on what is so near and dear to our heart, our families, of course. So as you can see, Moda did a phenomenal job, as well as their designers, creating all this amazing fabric. As I mentioned, these pre-cuts are cut just one time. They're made just one time. What we're offering you to do here is make a small deposit toward the cost of your pre-cut, and you don't have to think about it again. That lets us know how much to order. Is this the collection you love? Or maybe it's this one. Make that small deposit now, so when we put that order in, you are assured to get those pre-cuts, and when they arrive, we bill you for the difference and head that your way. I love that. I have missed out on way too many pre-cuts along the years, and I'm not going to be doing that anymore. So head to the website now to pick up your favorite pre-cuts and subscribe to YouTube and hit that bell. That's how you know about new Moda Precuts, new Block of the Month clubs, and so much more.